May you please speak about the BRICS as a Jim O'Neill construct and how you see the group developing as a political entity?
So I think BRICS is much more of a political construct and club than an economic grouping. Its major function is in promoting reforming global economic governance, so that it's the area of common interest amongst the members in saying that the global economic governance arrangements in the world don't work fairly for developing countries and need to change. It's still very young, so it hasn't come together cohesively to actually lead a movement to change things. It's slowly working in that direction, and I suspect over time will become much more effective in doing that.
Why challenge the GEG system?
Well, the GEG system was developed after the Second World War, so that it was developed for a particular time in history. The world's changed dramatically since then. For example, in the IMF, it doesn't make any sense that Belgium has almost as much votes as Brazil, that China is not the second biggest shareholder, that African countries, for example, have much less votes of the total now than they would have had in the early 1940s. So all of that needs to change. And the thing about changing the votes is it doesn't necessarily mean that the decisions that come out of the institution are better. But if there's no effective participation, the chances of having a responsive system is much less. And the reason the BRICS make sense is that they represent the rising powers from the different regions of the world. So that even though South Africa, compared to India or China, is a relatively small country, it's the most powerful in Africa, and in that sense is an important representative in the BRICS.
Each of these BRICS countries have their own interests and agendas. How do you see them balancing these various agendas in favor of a set of more common goals within the BRICS?
I mean, this is the big challenge, and this is what they haven't worked out yet. They can all agree that the system doesn't work well for them, but how to change it and what the principles that unite them will be is still having to be negotiated. And I think that's what's going to take a little more time to work out. I mean, you can see that when it came to the leadership selections of the new leaders in the World Bank and the IMF, the BRICS countries could not agree. And so they're going to have to work out some strategy of saying, we at least agree on these general principles and we'll work together to do that, and we'll accept that we've got different interests on other areas.